Hey guys, so today I'm going to try and do a side-by-side comparison. Warpaint's Fanatic and the Speedpaint Most Wanted set. Good amount of colors here. And some guides. This is their Warpaint's Fanatics color chart, so we'll try to find kind of the two that match in the regular line. Interesting. What am I supposed to do with these? I don't know.
Okay, so absolute green, crusader skin. Okay, metallic yellow, dark wood.
It's cool that they're gray caps because I'll be able to tell which ones they are versus the regular ones, just because like I have some old army war paint, which to be fair is really not that great, and I can't really tell the difference from just the bottle cap between that and the Warpainter Fanatics. But you know, it's good. I use it to mix colors and whatnot, and it just kind of it does what it's supposed to do. You know, it's supposed to be paint. I wonder if I added it to like some speed paint medium with white. I kind of just use it to experiment with making my own speed paint, and I did. I watched a ton of videos, and I bought a bunch of inks. To like mix my own, and I followed like 4 different recipes, and I got some pretty okay results with like my homemade stuff, but it's just, I'm a dad. I really don't have time to like mess with the formula every single time I go to make a batch of one color, and it just is, you know, I'm like playing with the viscosity and like mixing in more thinner or mixing in more white, like clear white or transparent white, and then I'm mixing in more medium, and you know, by the time I get it right, I have like a half or a quarter, like a little quarter of this bottle, and I only need it for a handful of miniatures usually. You know, like if I'm gonna batch paint a whole army, which I'm yet to do, I could see that being useful for like orcs. If I'm gonna do all green, like that would be great. Like mix up a whole batch of this, but I just don't have enough time ever really to like sit down and batch paint an entire army. It's not in the cards for me, you know. So I've just caved finally after months and months and months of using my Fanatics paint set, and I really enjoy the paints. I like them. I think they're good. Like I said, the original ones, I had a box of those, not my favorite whatsoever. I think that the new paints are really good. There's a lot of pigment in them, and we can just do kind of like a side-by-side right now. So I pulled out the 2 color charts for you guys to take a look at here. These are the speed paint ranges, and then these are the Warpainter Fanatics. And I had a few colors that I thought I'd try. I mean, I know these aren't the same exact product, but I think that they are close enough that we could maybe use them to just for coverage. And I found these 3. So one is 2 thin coats, the other is the Warpainter Fanatics, and then we have the speed paint. So we'll probably put that on an orc I have kind of dry brushed already. We'll just see what that looks like. Here I have another 2 thin coats. Let's see if we can, maybe the matte backing will help. Against the Citadel, Abaddon Black, and then of course we've got the Grim Black, which I'm sure we can just try on another work boots or something. I thought this one would be cool to try the Warlock Magenta against the Purple Swarm on some nids that I have pre-painted. And we'll try this Beowulf Blue. I didn't have any Army Painter Fanatic colors that I thought would be close enough to that. I've got the Citadel and some Pro Acryl Transparent Blue. I guess if I had to pick one here, because this is dark gray blue, I think I would just pick Night Sky, honestly. Like that's the bluest blue that I got from the original war paints. So I think those are the three that we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. Those are the 5 that we're going to try. Let's see, I know that there's a yellow here somewhere. Maybe we can try a yellow. This is the Zealot yellow, so maybe we'll try the Zealot yellow. And just for shits and giggles, the warped, oh my gosh. Can't focus on anything. The warped yellow. Perfect. So I think that's what we'll try first.
Alright, so we've got all our test models set up. This is going to be kind of the spread, I think, for right now. I'm gonna dry brush some stuff. I'm gonna bring you guys in a little closer. See what's going on.
So these are all dry brushed white. One thing I do know though is for sure when I use the warpaints Fanatics, I have a tattoo ink thing that I use. It's like you like get the bottle and set it on the edge, and it like shakes it. I guess tattoo artists use it. Works really well to mix this because they're so thick. There's a lot of pigment in these, and it's great for coverage. This is my first ever painting video. Personally, think it could be more runny. Now we're going to create a layering issue, but
I think you guys got the idea here.
this is the Night Sky by Warpaints Fanatics, Army Painter, and what I was saying is I kind of didn't like the way it looked in the bottle, but I really like the way it looks kind of going down. It's like a muted blue, almost like gray. If you've ever seen a Ford Maverick, kind of that color, which is also the color of my truck. Actually, mine's more blue. There's like a newer one that's kind of this tone. Amazing. I love the color. Kind of give it a fair shot. I do like this look kind of a little more than I like the speed paints. One of my friends is a really good painter with speed paint. He does like an amazing job and they look so good, but I just don't like the way the ink saturates, you know, like even on my like drawings. I think the thing that I like more about paints is just the saturation, and I think even the Termagants dried like matte. I thought they would be a little more glossy, just because of the nature of the paint, but this is the Pro Acryl transparent blue. So I wanted to see if this kind of came out similar to the Beowulf blue, because it is transparent. So I was just wondering if the dry brushing would come through in a similar fashion, and it looks like it is. I mean, its coverage is very similar. I put it on the wet palette, and I think it did it just enough for it to behave this way. I don't know if the Pro Acryl is supposed to be like a speed paint when it's transparent, but the transparent blue covers very well. And one thing that I'm noticing right now is with the transparent blue, there's actually no overlap. So with the speed paint, you kind of start getting overlap, and I don't know if that's because it dries quickly or what, but with this, there's almost no overlap. It seems to go a pretty long way, or maybe I just put too much down. I don't know. We'll just paint this whole thing. I keep ending up out of your guys' sight here. So I moved to a new apartment, and setting up the camera has been, and it's just an iPhone, but just like now I have to figure out new lighting and just figuring out all the things. Appreciate any of the content that I'm making. I would greatly appreciate just like or subscribe to help me repair the mini I just fumbled. Let's do the Citadel Macragge Blue. Now, this one now out of the little tubby here does look a little bit more like the night sky, except this one clearly has more blue in it for sure. The night sky dried kind of muted. It dried way more gray than blue. Even though when I was putting it out, it kind of looked like this. Night sky's coverage is kind of top tier. Purple wash. Now we got some blacks coming. You know what I mean. this paint, I really need to get kind of a bigger brush here. Because I'm used to just putting like a little speck of paint like I have on my wet palette. There's more product in the cracks. Above my pay grade. But what I do know is that I am definitely going to have to use more of the speed paint per model than I would the regular paint. And so I think I will continue to make my own speed paint for large batch painting. It's just, I need to write it down, I think is the real problem. Because here, what happens is I make like a good formula with one color and I'm like, I like the way that's coming out, and then I make it and I use it, and then I don't have time to batch paint for 3 or 4 months, and then I forget how to make it and I try to make it again. So maybe making some notes, and I've made notes with like videos. There's a few videos that I really like where they get down on making their own like speed paint equivalent, you know. Yeah, I think for black I might just use the regular paints. I guess there's things that I could use this for maybe that I don't know about. Like, what do you use this for? I don't think my boots need to be speed painted per se, right? Like boots on works. Seems kind of unnecessary to use speed paint for just that tiny little. Oh, I'm trying not to get any on my desk because I have not sealed the desk yet with any like oil or anything, so everything that I get on here is gonna kind of stay on here forever. Let's try this 2 thin coats Oblivion Black. I've used this quite a bit actually already, just because it was like the only speed paint that I had for like recesses on the Halo guys. Actually really kind of dug it for that. It just is easier to do like the mercenary guys and all of those. So let's see. 2 thin coats. Right away. This, and I don't know if I did something wrong here, but this is looking more like a gray. Did I shake that enough? It's feeling very, very juicy and not very opaque. Yeah. I don't know, there's a hole there. I guess there might be an arm I'm missing for this guy. I bought all these termagants off of a guy on OfferUp, and I bought a bunch of like orcs off of him too, and they were just like get bashed old orc bodies with like new orc parts, which it was fine. I mean, I got them super cheap, but kind of didn't realize it until I brought them home because I was in a hurry to pick up my kids. So after I got home, I was like, bro, kind of got wrecked on that one. Well, as you can see, if this saves you any trouble. gonna substitute these two because there's not a lot of green on them. We got an old school Porky Boy here and a poorly built Porky Boy here. So this is the two thin coats pork flesh. Yeah, just the two thin coats is kind of overall just not as much. And this could be an old batch. I don't know, I got it from some game store. And it was just like in an old dusty shelf. So this could be like many years old. But this is definitely not gonna be two thin coats. It's gonna be many. You know, I thought I was gonna paint a lot more green with the Porkies here, but not really, no. Not a whole lot. Now we're gonna hit the forest sprite with the Army Painter Speed Paint. I mean, this one looks good. The dry brush and everything. This guy looks like the Incredible Hulk right now, dude. Russian. Look at the big man over here. Yeah, this is no comparison. No comparison whatsoever on how that lays out. This is amazing. Dude, this is rad. Oh, I got the back of the neck, bro. You can't forget the back of the neck, bro. Billy. I don't know what these little plates are supposed to be, but dude, no comparison to how this covers. And the other one. I mean, that is insane. Now, Army Painter just made two thin coats look like dog water. I do actually really like this Jasper skin color. I think if I used both paints, kind of get what I want here. Like if I use just put green on it. I think if I use this and then use a speed paint over it, it would give me what I want out of every skin tone ever. Honestly, this one is covering oh my gosh, I am so bad at painting in frame, bro. And I think this one's gonna be cool because I'm gonna paint him like more this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. Alright, let's see what the Crusader skin looks like. But what I'm really trying to say is he's more brown. But I think that this would look really good over the jasper. Very round. Like a... I wonder, I have a bigger model. We'll try it over that one right now. Just to see if it does what I think it'll do. Because at this point we've got nothing to lose. Alright, last one, boys. The yellow. They're pretty dope. These guys usually only have yellow arms and stuff, the variant that I've seen, so we'll just hop on through here to the yellow variant. I think it's yellow with blue. Pretty dope, to be honest. I think the yellow with blue is kind of a sick color variant. I do like the way that this yellow lays out. For yellow, it's pretty opaque. We're just gonna pretend that I painted this one, and we're just gonna put this one right here because I already have it. Alright, let's hit the Zealot yellow and see what this looks like. I can already tell by the bottle that this yellow is gonna be more warm, but who knows, maybe I could be wrong. Dude, look, this is one of the Termagants this guy sold me. I'm just like, bro, how do you even assemble something so poorly? Well, let's see how it dries. It could just go on here. Yeah, I guess a yellow liquid wouldn't really be very opaque, so they do need to make it warmer. It's closer to an orange on top of the Wraith bone. I'm sure if it was a white, well, I did dry brush white on here, so maybe it'll show up. Zealot yellow, legendary, good color. I like the way it does exactly what it's supposed to do. I mean, like it's going in there. Like this color, you could do one coat of, and the recesses are going to be significantly darker. If you just give it like a nice on top, like you're going to get some good coverage. And because it's so watery and pigmented more warm, where it pulls up, it is going to. And look, there's almost like no overlap on this color.